If I, as an instructor, play only 10% of the role, like my impact is only 10% in the final outcome, then it's going to be hard for me to make a case for you to pay me to teach you something. Just like most of you who watch guitar-related content online, I too have been the recipient of a lot of guitar-related advertisement online. So, for example, I'm watching a YouTube video, and then in the middle of it, there was a cut, ads kick in, and some guitar instructor is trying to sell an online course. And nothing wrong with that, that's perfectly fine. But the proposition that they have, like what they're trying to tell you, is that they've got something unique to offer that the other person doesn't. So for example, they say, I have this new technique to teach you that nobody else does, or I have this new mindset to teach you, which nobody else does. For example, very commonly, a lot of instructors are starting to say things like, oh, you don't have to learn scales to be able to, solo fast. You don't have to learn the modes and things of that nature. So either a technique or a mindset or something in there that they're saying they can do for you. So you go and buy their courses, and that's marketing. That's fantastic. Nothing wrong with it. In this short video, I'm going to tell you a fact that is not communicated from guitar teachers often. Before I get to that, I want to do a quick thought experiment with you guys. So bear with me a second. Let's do this thought experiment together. Imagine a very, very good, a very competent guitar instructor, a person who's very good at playing the guitar, but is also very good at teaching others how to play the guitar. And these two skills, by the way, are not the same. The ability to be an artist and play the guitar is one thing. The ability to teach it to other people is another thing. There are a lot of great guitar players that they suck at teaching, and they're amazing teachers that they're not necessarily the best guitar players. If you're looking for a teacher, you're looking for someone with teaching abilities, not artist type, okay? So let's just make that quick distinction, but let's do this thought experiment, right? So you imagine a very competent guitar teacher. Joe Satriani, I would argue, is a very competent guitar teacher, is a very competent guitar instructor. He is a great player. Obviously, he's legendary, but he's a really good instructor too. For example, he had Steve Vai as one of his students, long time, or Kirk Hammett. And both of those guys are, again, amazing players. So I think it's safe to say that Joe Satriani is a competent guitar teacher. Cool. Now, my question to you is, why didn't every single student of Joe Satriani become that good? Like Steve Vai or Kirk Hammett or whatever, right? Why didn't, not everybody, you know what? Why didn't 80% of them become that good? No. Why didn't half of them become that good? Did even 10% of them become as good as Steve Vai or Kirk Hammett? And the answer is probably not. Okay. My next question then is, how much of the student's success can Joe Satriani take credit for? How much credit can we give to Joe Satriani for the success of his student? I would argue not much. Because again, if 80% of the final outcome of a guitarist was something that Joe could take credit for, then the vast majority of his students would get that 80% of the way and they would get to places. Do you know what I mean? So Joe, as an instructor, can't take that much credit for the final outcome. And this is exactly the reason why instructors don't tell you this. A lot of instructors, not everybody, right? This is exactly why. Because number one, it hurts your ego. Like, what do you mean? I'm mentoring them, I'm teaching them, I'm showing them the way. When they need me, I'm there, which is noble. This is amazing. Instructors are needed. It's an important role. But it's not contributing to the lion's share of the outcome. The lion's share of the outcome is caused by something else. And that hurts instructors to know. Ego-wise, it's not a comfortable thing to hear. But then secondly, financially too, right? Like if I, as an instructor, play only 10% of the role, like my impact is only 10% in the final outcome, then it's going to be hard for me to make a case for you to pay me to teach you something, right? So financially too is not a convenient thing for me to say. And that's the reason why most instructors don't tell you this. So what is this mystery thing that nobody tells you? I'll tell you. It's no secret. The final outcome of how good of a guitar player you are, 90% of it depends on this one thing. Repetition, repetition, repetition. Good technique is important. Good mindset is important. Knowing the way, somebody teaching you is going to speed up time. It's going to save you a lot of time. It's important. No questions about it. But the number one factor that takes you 90% of the way is repetition. That's it. The people that are becoming good at playing the guitar, they're not special. They have one ability, and one ability only that the others who don't get there don't have. And that ability is for them to sit down on a chair, play the exact same lick for hours and hours on end, and they're able to handle that boredom. They're able to handle that monotonicity. That's it. That's the only difference. So, as an example, if someone wants to play a riff like this. All right, let me go back so you guys can see me. Is the guitar on? Good, we're on. So, this is how it works. Let's just say you want to learn this lick. Right? This is how you learn it. You go and play metronome. So you just go and find a metronome. I'll share my screen with you guys. And I'm going to set the metronome really low. And it's a free online metronome, right? So I'm not paying for anything. Everybody can access it. Everybody can do it. Let's just say I'm going to slow it down to 75 beats per minute, right? I'm going to take the distortion away. I'm just going to play it very slowly like this. And then I just do this like thousands of times. And then after you do it for like thousands of times, you increase the speed a little bit and a little bit more and a little bit more until you can do this. I'm saying this to you frankly, honestly, and with genuine intentions. Look, the repetition is the main ingredient. You have to sit down and just play the same thing hours on end, just constantly the same thing, and going through the boredom of it. That's it. Repetition, repetition, repetition. Love you guys. Take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next video.